Hi, my name is George Pavlantos. I am the technical director here at Skyline Soccer Association. To my left is Joshua Sawyer. He is our head referee assigner. He's also a mentor to our referees. We're here today to discuss laws of the game. There are many laws of the game, and we are here just to kind of cover just some of the basics. Skyline is likes to pride itself on being a extremely referee-friendly club, and basically what that means is that we are here to support our referees, especially those young referees that are just getting started, making their experience a positive one, allowing the game to grow within the club, and we definitely think that referees are a big part of that.
All right, we're going to try to tackle our most difficult law of the game, offside. Today we're going to represent the defense in blue with our goalkeeper, which is your last defender typically, doesn't have to be, and your second to last defender. If the offensive team, which is represented here in yellow, the ball in red, is played the ball or passed the ball while he's in front of the second to last defender or the ball, the player is considered onside. This ruling is irrelevant of where the player receives the ball. If he has played the ball while he's in front of the second to last defender and receives it behind him, as long as when the ball was played, he was in front of that second to last defender or the ball, whichever one's closer to the goal line, he's considered onside. If for some reason the defense pushes forward into the attacking half of the field, the midway line now becomes the second to last defender. If the player, again, is played the ball while he's in his own half, he is considered onside, irrelevant of where he receives the ball. At the time of the pass, the player's in his own half, the ball is played, and he runs onto it, he's considered onside. One thing to consider in offside, only pertaining to 7v7 for U9 and U10 players, is the build-out line. The halfway line for offside in the 11v11 game is moved to the build-out line. If all defenders move forward in front of the build-out line and an offensive player is passed the ball, as long as when the ball is passed, he's behind the build-out line, he's considered onside, irrelevant of where he receives the ball, whether behind the build-out line or in front of it. All that matters is when the ball was played.
We're going to talk about heading next, and basically with heading, there's been U.S. Soccer has changed some of their heading rules. Back in the day, a few years ago, any child could be able to head the ball in a game, but now under the age of 10, so 4v4, 7v7 formats, you cannot deliberately head a ball in a game, and a foul will be called. Anything above 7v7, which is 11 plus, so for 9v9 and 11v11, players can head the ball intentionally.
Another foul that creates a lot of confusion is handling. When the ball intentionally is played by a player from his hand to his shoulder. The player has to intentionally either make himself bigger or play the ball. Another factor in that is proximity of where the ball was played from. If the ball is struck from this close and the player isn't making himself bigger and it hits anywhere along the arm, it is not considered a foul. Even if the player is in a natural playing position, like a running stance, at this proximity, the player is going to have no reaction time, therefore it's not considered a foul. If the player makes himself bigger though, and the ball is struck, it's irrelevant of the distance from where the ball was played. Another thing, if the player intentionally handles the ball anywhere from the hand to the arm or to the shoulder, it's considered a foul. Another law of the game that creates a lot of confusion is physical play. A lot of factors go into a referee deciding whether to call a foul or not. Age of the players, ability of the players, location of the field, time of the game. Even the players who are committing the fouls can all be factors in whether the referee decides to blow a foul or not. Physical play is allowed especially in certain circumstances. When the ball is in proximity to the players, if it's shoulder-to-shoulder contact, players are allowed to physically play for the ball. Now, it cannot be done in a reckless or dangerous manner. This isn't considered playing for the ball in a safe manner. If the ball is a distance away from the players, physical play needs to be limited. Another factor that the referee needs to consider when calling fouls is whether the foul is trifling or whether the players can play through the foul for the flow of the game. Stopping the play too often in a game stops the flow of the game and stops the enjoyment of the players as well as the spectators watching it. So sometimes, just because a player gets kicked doesn't mean that a foul needs to be called. Now we're going to talk about out of bounds. It's a pretty simple rule, a little caveat. When the whole of the ball travels across the whole of the line. So when the whole of the ball crosses the whole of the line, now the line continues all the way up into the sky. So it's irrelevant how high the ball crosses the line. But this is inbounds, this is inbounds, this is still even inbounds. Even though the bottom of the ball isn't touching the line, the circumference of the ball is. So irrelevant of where the ball crosses the line, different restarts may ensue. But the whole of the ball is the trick. The whole of the ball must cross the whole of the line. Another part of the game that gets a lot of confusion is advantage. Advantage is applied when a foul happens and yet the team that was fouled gains an advantage from the foul not being called. Whether the ball goes to another teammate or whether the player continues to play through the foul. If a goal scoring opportunity is present, the referee may decide not to call the foul. Although if the foul is not called and advantage is played, the referee can still come back and penalize that player with a yellow or red card. We've covered a few laws today. The referees have to know a lot more. They make decisions all the time. They are human. Please understand they make mistakes and are learning too. If you have problems, come get me. I'm out there at the fields. Send us an email. Contact us. Let us know what's going on. It's the only way we can support you, the referee, and the kids out there on the fields. Thank you for helping us make Skyline a better club.